This video is sponsored by MPB. I think there are plenty of everyday carry photography cameras out there that will do a good job. However, finding a small everyday carry camera that is also good for video clips is a little bit like unicorn poo. But I've tried many a camera and I do have some options for you. Just to set the parameters of this video, the cameras have to shoot photography and be more of a traditional kind of camera. So the Osmo Pocket would be great for shooting video clips, but it's a little bit clunky to shoot photo with, so I've not included those sorts of devices in this video. And also, tiny camera. Loads of full frame cameras can do this, but we want something portable. So here are 10 options for you, all budgets available. Let's get stuck in. An oldie but a goodie is the Lumix GX80/GX85. I took this to Madeira recently and I owned it many moons ago, and what makes this excellent for video is the IBIS. You have a properly stabilized camera that's very pocketable, and it does also shoot 4K. Now the screen doesn't flip up, it only articulates, and there is no mic input, so it's not for the vloggers amongst you, but it's definitely great for little clips. Actually, the quality really impressed me. There isn't a way to get like a log profile in this camera, but you can use the custom profile built in and like turn down the saturation and the contrast a little bit, which is what I do, and it gives you a little bit more wiggle room in your color grading. Of course, for photography, it's a wonderful classic everyday carry option. So if you're looking for something that ticks both boxes, I think this is a really good one to start off the list. How about the Sony RX100V? This is one that I used pretty recently as well, and this is really tiny. This is legitimately pocketable. You could probably get the GX80 in your pocket, but you might look a little bit strange. The Sony one here is very pocketable indeed. And you get incredible autofocus for the size of this pocket camera, and the video is very, very nice. There's even a log profile built in, I'm pretty sure. However, just bear in mind for this one, it is very much for smaller clips because the camera is very, very small indeed, and if you leave the 4K recording for too long it can overheat after a few minutes. So there are recording limits with this camera. Now you could look up the range to the 6 and the most recent one, the 7, but they do get quite pricey. What you will find is the smaller the camera with the more features, it's just going to cost a ton because there's not very many cameras out there that tick all these boxes. One thing I love about this camera is the little flippy EVF. I think that's charming and a great workaround to keep the camera small but add in a very important feature. It's very, very good. You could easily get some everyday clips with this without issue. And if I have a dedicated review video of these, I'll link them all in the description. So if you want to learn more about a camera, check the description. Next one, the Zcam E1. This is just about in the criteria for it being a traditional camera because it's a bit strange. It's the world's smallest 4K cinema camera with interchangeable lenses, and it's a micro four thirds sensor, and it's literally just a sensor in a box. It's so unconventional and strange. Now you can rig this up with a cage and a monitor and all that stuff, but at that point I just think, buy something bigger. My God. So I've been using it completely naked and just having fun with it. What I love about this for video is it will shoot in 4:3 ratio, so you can make little sort of social postcards. It also has the same sensor as the Lumix GH4, I think, and the Lumix G7, so it will shoot 4K, but it is only 8-bit. There is a Z-Log profile or a Z-Log profile built in, and it surprised me with how much sort of push and pull you have in the video files. There is a mic input, but not really anywhere to stick the mic because it's just a box. And there is no stabilization, of course, so you can use stabilized lenses, or like I've been doing, just pop it down on a cute little tripod and get some snippets of your day. I think it's actually a very, very cool camera. Now, just to set your expectations, if you are looking for these used, set some email alerts because they are few and far between. I managed to get mine at a very, very good price, around £200, so they are out there, you just have to wait for a bargain. And I also think if you're a camera hoarder / collector like me, this one is definitely one for the history books. It's very, very interesting and unique. So speaking of email alerts, a great way to find your used camera bargains is to use the sponsor of this video, which is MPB. MPB are the world's largest platform for buying, selling and trading your used camera equipment. And I've got many an email alert set up, so if something interesting pops up, I'll be the first to know and I can grab it. But it's not just a great place for bargain hunting. If it's the right time for you to change up your camera equipment, you can also sell and trade through MPB as well. And it's really blooming simple. It really takes all the risk out of private selling and buying, and it just makes it such a seamless process. I absolutely love them and use them all the time. Admittedly for more buying than selling because I am a camera hoarder, but I could probably do with switching up some of my own gear, to be honest. So if you'd like to check out MPB, I have links for UK, EU and US in the description, and it does show that I do a good old job around here. So go and set some email alerts, find some bargains, and see what MPB can do for you. What about the delightful Lumix G100? Now this caused a bit of controversy back in the day, mostly due to terrible marketing on Panasonic's behalf, because they wanted it to be like a vlogging camera, but it has no IBIS and contrast-based autofocus, so never a good combination. But if you remove all that and just see it as a very tiny camera that's very good for photo and very good for video if you're behind the camera and not in front of it, then it's very, very cool indeed. If you do go for this camera, I would highly recommend pairing it with a stabilized lens. I have the Lumix Pancake stock lens, which is stabilized, so that way you can get some very nice stabilized video from it, and it packs down really small as well. Now this camera is a little bit plastic fantastic, and it's one that I love to take when I do hikes. It's not weather sealed, but it's stupidly light, so I can keep it on my bag and I don't even know that it's there. It really is good, and it has an EVF, good grip, all the good stuff, flippy screen and a mic input, so it ticks a lot of boxes. It even has a mechanical shutter, in fact. For the video side, there is a 4K recording limit. I believe it's 10 minutes in 4K, but if we're thinking about this as like an everyday video clips sort of camera rather than sitting and talking to camera for ages, it's fine. And best of all, this is one that tends to be numerous on the used camera market and at a very good price. So what about something newer? Might be a little bit more expensive, but oof, it's powerful. This is the Canon PowerShot V1. And when this was announced, I was like, ooh, this is right up my street. And I haven't really tried Canon cameras very much, so I really wanted the opportunity to try this one out. This camera is video first, very small, and I love that it has a little windshield cover, so the built-in microphone and the built-in audio is super usable. It also even has thermal management, so the recording can go and go and go without the camera overheating. And compared to a lot of cameras in this list, as you would expect, 'cause it came out in February 2025, it feels very modern and very up to date. We found some excellent options for some wide-angle photography. Museums! And it's actually stopped raining.
Yeah, I'm in the shop.
And I'm very, very happy.
I was like trying to get out of the shop then. Hello.
The screen on the back is huge and it's lovely to use. The touchscreen is very responsive, and it has a very coveted feature of mine, which is the photo and video switch. This means you can set the camera up in two completely different ways for photo and video, which is really handy. And it even blooming has ND filters built in. If you want something that's like, you don't have to have an external mic, you don't have to have ND filters, you can just take it and go. This is one that MPB have very kindly loaned me to try out, and there's a chance I might be buying this. So that option is very nice, but a little bit spenny compared to some on this list. But if you've got the budget for it, it's probably a damn good option. One of the better options that have come out recently for sure. So another off-piste option, this is Kyra. This works if you have an iPhone and it connects to your phone via the MagSafe magnet, and then you can connect wirelessly to your phone. This is a micro four thirds sensor, so you can have a plethora of interesting and tiny lenses on it, and it's good for both photo and video. There's even like AI features built in, which make me feel a little bit uneasy. I've done a dedicated video about this camera recently. Yeah, it's interesting. If you like the camera look versus your phone, you will always get deeper depth of field, more character in the lenses. It's really cool. And all of the stuff that you capture goes straight onto your phone so you can put out into the world. Might get some flack for this one, but how about the OM System OM5 and the OM5 Mark II? Now, the reason I will get some flack for this is in all of my reviews of these cameras, I've ranted ad nauseum about the quality of the video. It is only 8-bit, so it's not the nicest, most modern sort of video footage. Considering the OM5 Mark II came out in 2025, it really does lag behind some of the competitors. The video inside like the GX80, which was the first camera in this entire list, knocks the socks off it, and I think that came out in 2016, for example. So the video features are a little bit dated. The reason I've included this in the list is, one, it has phase detect autofocus. Both versions do. Let's just talk about the Mark II for the sake of ease. It's beige. It has phase detect autofocus, so if you are looking for clips of your pets or your family, this would be great. And it's very, very small. In some ways, it embodies all the best bits of Micro Four Thirds, where it's a great photography camera, industry-leading IBIS, and you do have some video features as well. I think it's the only camera on this list that's weather sealed as well, so if you want to actually go out hiking with your camera and keep it out and not have to put it in a little Ziploc bag, as I do with my G100, this is a great option. If this camera had the 10-bit video that you would find in its big brother, the OM System OM3, it's just about the perfect tiny camera, in my opinion, but unfortunately, there's always a blooming compromise, isn't there? The OM5 has a flippy screen, it has a mic input, it has exceptional IBIS, it's great. It's great, it's great. I just wish the video was a little bit prettier. So another relatively new camera and another Sony. Oof, what is going on? This is the Sony ZV-1 Mark II. And this is very tiny and possibly like Sony's version of the Canon that was a couple of cameras ago, or I guess Canon's version of this because the Canon one's newer. It covers a lot of ground. It has a built-in windshield like the Canon. It's very pocketable and it's got some really, really nice video features as well as photo features. The Sony has a 1.8 lens at the wide end and the Canon is 2.8, so pros and cons to both. This is also one that MPB have kindly loaned me, and I got both of these completely selfishly with the idea of like, I kind of want an everyday video camera that's small. I'm probably going to end up buying one. Yeah, at the moment, I think my gut is leaning towards the Canon, but this one is very nice and cheaper, so it shouldn't be disregarded. One thing the Canon does do better, and it's one of the reasons I'm leaning in that direction, is there's no optical stabilization in the lens on the Sony, whereas there is on the Canon. So in the Canon, you have optical lens stabilization and digital, whereas with this little Sony, you only have digital. And sometimes we can get jello in the corners, sometimes it punches in. I have to hold it way further away because the lens just isn't as wide. Bleh. There's no mechanical shutter on the photo side. And not to mention it's only 8-bit 420 as well in the quality. No. I already don't like you. And I just think for a fixed lens camera, optical stabilization really does make a huge difference. To work around that, Sony have added in the gyroscope data, so if you stick this footage in the computer and use a third-party piece of software to stabilize it, you can work around it. But for the sake of like everyday carry video, I envision it as like you might stick it straight on your phone and put it on socials, or you might just put it in your hard drives for like memories to look back on. We're not going to sit there and stabilize it in post. So yeah, that's a shame, but otherwise it is very nice and very pocketable indeed. Okay, another unconventional option, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Now I know it's an action camera, but with the Explorer grip, we can now use it as more like a traditional camera, and I've done that to great success for both photo and video all year actually. I've taken it to Spain, I've taken it to Amsterdam, I've taken it to Frankfurt and Iceland, and it's been so good as video and photo alike. On the photography side, you have up to 50 megapixels and the lens was co-engineered by Leica, so it's a very high quality lens for an action camera. The video, of course, is superb. You could argue that it's like a video first device, so you would blooming hope. It even does like 120p in 4K, slow motion. You can shoot open gate 4:3. You've got loads and loads of options, and the low light video in it is great as well, and the stabilization looks like a gimbal. The built-in mic is awesome, so it's another one of these devices where if you just want to go out with the thing and not a microphone, ND filters, this and this, it's really just like an all-in-one solution. It's very cool. The only thing to bear in mind with this, as ever, is because it is an action camera at the bones of it, you can punch in twice to give you more of a traditional linear sort of look to your footage. The lens is quite wide, so it's not as versatile as some of the other options on this list. And then, possibly my personal favourite for what you get for the price and style and everything, let me just tell you, the LX15/LX10. It's a Lumix camera, and oh my god, what I wouldn't give for an updated version of this blooming camera. My goodness, right. The lens is Leica branded and it's super fast at f1.4. The quality of the photos and the video is superb. You do not have a mic input, but the built-in mic isn't terrible. What I really like about this is it does do 4K video and it's stabilized as well. So you can get handheld footage really easily. The screen flips up so you can talk to camera if that is your desire, or you can stay behind the camera and get day-to-day clips of your life. It is properly pocketable. I think probably the smallest camera on this list, along with the RX105. The touchscreen is great. What astounded me is I looked up when it came out, and it came out in 2016, so it's not a new camera. But looking at it, I think it has a gorgeous modern style to it. The menus feel very fresh as well, and there's even Wi-Fi built in. So if you wanted a camera that you could tuck away in your pocket without it looking weird, or your handbag, or I use it on like a camera strap that's designed for your phone, so it's quite nice. However you want to carry your stuff around, I digress. If you want something that you can access quickly that's great for photo and video, and very, 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 very small, I think this one is definitely one to consider. And it's more than half the price of a lot of cameras on this list, like the Sonys and the Canons. You can pick this up pretty affordably. Don't spend the earth on it because it is an older camera. I think I got mine for like $350, $400, which I think is probably a fair price for it. But in terms of image quality, usability, it's gorgeous. And the video is very nice indeed. Is there anything that I've left out? I'm sure there will be. I'm happy to have any suggestions in the comments, just let me know. And if you would like to learn any more about any of these individual cameras, check out the links in my description for some follow-on videos.